I forgot who first alerted me to Awesome Kong. I think she was called Amazing Kong first. Then we changed her name, or Jeff Jarrett changed her name to Awesome, which I was fine with that. I saw a match between her and some Japanese girl. If I heard the name, I'd remember it. If you didn't
Takahashi?
know,
Takahashi?
maybe not. It was another name.
No, okay.
But they had a match that if you didn't know it was a work, they would have, even if you had known it was a work, it looked like a shoot. Because in Japan, you take your time, but your strikes are brutal. And so they were literally, I would say, 80% shooting with their strikes. I mean, you can shoot with a strike. You just got to hit them in the nose and mouth. I mean, you can lay it in. And that's what alerted me to Awesome Kong. And Gail Kim gave me a tape, because I guess this was before the days you could go on the internet and look it up. It was. And Awesome Kong, and I've told her, she was the reason that the TNA knockouts got over. I remember when I wanted to book them, nobody agreed with me. Vince Russo did not agree with me. He could give a crap less about it, which I thought weird, because I thought he'd have all kind of ideas for the girls. Jeff, he didn't much want it. And he asked me one day, he said, do you think there's enough, we can find enough girls to fill it? Because me being a smart ass, I said, well, let me see. He's like 300 million people in America, and half of them are women. It's 150 million. And I think in the age groups we're looking for, it's probably 10, 15, 20 million girls, maybe. And he looked at me and said, I got it. So we got them. And I told everybody, I don't want anybody coming up with anything about these girls. I'll handle the girls, period, by myself. And it's actually me and Scott Demore that did it. And I would tell Scott what I needed, and he'd go and give it to the girls. And I remember the first time I called the girls together, I said, girls, you're going to get your chance. This was before WWE concentrated on females. This is when they were still doing bra and panty matches and doing that silly stuff with them. And I told them, I had a meeting, and I said, you're no longer bitches and whores and sluts. And I said, you're athletes. And I want you to go out there tonight and every night. We put you in a match, and I want you to outshow these guys. Oh, they love that. And those girls all worked together to prove that the girls, they should be there, and they did. Gail Kim and Awesome Kong drew the highest rating, I think, ever on a TNA show, and it was a 3.4, something like that, 3 point whatever. But they outdrew Hogan. So we put Gail, Kim, and Kong in the main event on TV, and they drew a hell of a rating. And every week, the girls would always outperform everybody else. They would outperform Sting. They would outperform whoever we had. AJ, Samoa Joe. It was the girls. And we would try to have 2 matches a show, and we got them over.
What do you think?
And then after they got over, everybody come up and said, Dutch, wait a minute. I got this idea about the girls. Don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, because nobody wanted them here, so I don't want to hear it. Then I'd say, all right, what is it?
There's a couple of things actually I'll bring up. But one, in an interview you gave many years ago, I remember you saying, like, when you cast Awesome Kong, I know it's the wrong word, but cast Awesome Kong and put him on the TV,
Yep.
It's like, you're going to be flipping that channel, and then you're going to look at it and you're going to see Awesome Kong, and that is a channel changer stopper of a woman. But also, I want to ask you this, and I don't know if you know the answer or not, is she goes to WWE afterwards, in 2010 or whatever. Why did that just not work out? I know she was pregnant at one point, I think, and she couldn't wrestle, but apart from that...
Okay. She was over in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean she leaves TNA, the same girl, and she goes to WWE. You know what that tells me? They didn't know how to book her. If they'd have took her out there in the same mode that I had her in TNA, they'd have drew big money. And take your time with her. She would be the girl's equivalent of a Roman Reigns during that period. Because if she just went out and beat these girls up, and I told her, I said, I don't want you going off your feet till I tell you to. And, you know, they had figured this one match, she would go down. And I said, well, who told you to go down? Oh, well, some agent had told them to go down. I said, no, listen to me. Don't go down. If they tell you to go down, come and see me. Because I actually envisioned her as the female version of Abdullah the Butcher. And I put a Muslim girl with her.
Yeah.
She wasn't really a Muslim girl. I called her Raisha Saeed. That wore the whole deal.
That was cheerleader Melissa, wasn't it? I think.
Cheerleader Melissa. And I just put her out there. Never did a lot with her because that was still a really touchy subject. And I thought I would receive brushback when I put her out there, but not a word. Not a word. And I didn't do anything to insult Islam because, you know, you can't do that. And I said, just go out there and just stand there. And all I want them to see from you is your eyes. And they did it right. See, if you follow directions and they follow what you tell them to do, and the truck, I told the truck, I said, I want you guys to catch her eyes. That's really the only thing. You can't even tell if she was heavy or skinny. You couldn't tell. But the eyes, I mean, they say that's the mirror into the soul. And I mean, I'm not trying to get philosophical here, but that was the only thing you could see of her. But she had that air of mystery around her. And I never really got to the part where how did Awesome Khan meet Raisha Saeed? We never got to that part. And that was a whole new book I had going. We could have went through that. But
as they say,
see,
plans change.
Patience.